Subchapter 3.3. Of all the colors of the visible spectrum from which to choose to dress a city, one might conclude that the Provenance favored gray above all others. In the floating city of Equity, the capital of the Provenance, its citizens, following suit, wore austere fashions in gray, and even the landscaping, trees, and foliage all appeared to reflect the total and enveloping grayness of the entire city. Or perhaps 68 years of empty rhetoric vomited out of the mouths of Provenance politicians, officials, bureaucrats, and the Sen-Ra family themselves had covered the streets and walls of the city so completely in gray that no color remnants of humanity was left to object. Powered by 3 antimatter reactors, a network of gravity wave emitters, the reverse of gravity wells found on spacecraft opposed the gravity of Earth. The emitters were placed in key areas, giving the capital of the Provenance its ability to hover in silence anywhere over the planet's surface. The city of Equity rarely kept to one place in the world for very long, preferring to drift across the landscapes and oceans in an imperious display of dominance over one part, one nation, one continent, then moving on to another world center. A constant reminder that the Provenance was always present, always watching, looking down at you, godlike from the skies. At the center of Equity, one would find the City of Contentment, a complex of structures that was home to the Sen-Ra family. Facing the City of Contentment, as if in reverence and adoration of Sen-Ra, a network of buildings held the various government institutions, including the Higher Equity Learning Center and the Sen-Ra Cathedral of Divisionism, the official religion of the Provenance. One of the many government buildings was the Palace of Higher Minds, where ministers met to discuss policy matters, current issues, and subjects that impacted the Provenance, or the Sen-Ra ruling family. High Minister Graves, a tall, thin man in his 50s, was approached by one of the servers, an assembly of personal attendants to the Sen-Ras themselves. An unfortunate situation arose involving one of the family members, which was likely to become an embarrassment to the entire Provenance, if not attended to in an expeditious and discreet manner. After a brief discussion, Graves assured the server that he would personally see to it that the matter would be raised at the next meeting of ministers that afternoon, and the action requested of him would be carried out faithfully. And of course, all references to the issue would be purposefully obscured and expressed in the most opaque language possible. The request did not alarm the High Minister in the least, as the royal family was prone to troublesome personal matters from time to time that required their cooperation. Do bury those matters, ladies and gentlemen, and make sure they stay that way. Thank you. A dozen ministers, department heads in the Provenance ruling body, sat at the long table in the Hall of Murmurs, a spacious room with a high vaulted ceiling. Narrow slits acting as windows cast cold, gray shafts of light along the walls and floor. High Minister Graves kept the meeting moving, refusing to allow the discussions to bog down in disagreements and accusations. The latest revolt or rebellion was under constant debate. The only question raised was where it was located, on Earth or one of her colonies. Was Space Force adequately armed and manned to deal with the uprising? Yes. The Provenance's military would deal with the rebels in due time. Graves checked his handheld device for the next topic and was relieved to be off the subject of rebellions for once. And then there is the matter of this McCabe. Richard McCabe. Minister Lambert shook his head. An insignificant freighter pilot, not worth our attention. Graves raised an eyebrow. Is it? Minister Vega chuckled and tilted her head. He has single-handedly made a mockery of IPS's android program. 2 years into it, Agent Mercer has fumbled every move. No matter. Certain individuals in the government would like this matter to be resolved as soon as possible. High Minister Graves, said Vega. What exactly are we to do? He is light years away, running on his own with an inept android tripping over herself at every turn. The instructions I received are to give Agent Mercer a Priority 1 program, a program to apprehend McCabe and his accomplice QR and return them here. He is delving into situations beyond his stratum. The ministers at the table exchanged glances and whispered to each other. Quinn was skeptical. A Priority 1 program, what will that accomplish? To give Agent Mercer an added sense of urgency to finish her mission, studies have shown that androids who have had their programming enhanced with Priority 1 initiatives have increased their productivity and efficiency, exceeding their owners' expectations. That brought another chuckle to Vega. I rather like this plan. A Priority 1 program might be just the thing to sharpen her up. Who do I have to thank, Mr. Graves? That will remain confidential, Minister Vega. Mr. Lambert, prepare a Priority 1 program for Agent Mercer and send it to IPS. A new voice resounded in the Hall of Murmurs. Absolutely not, High Minister. All eyes turned to see John Fox striding toward the long table. Ah, Guardian Fox, Graves said. I don't recall inviting you to this meeting. Fox glowered at Graves, his voice just below thunder. That's because you did not. But when I heard what you have planned for Catherine, I invited myself. If you have an objection, by all means, let's hear it. Fox's voice rang clear. I would highly advise against imposing a Priority 1 program on Agent Mercer. Such intrusive programming is nothing more than an internal, overbearing taskmaster beating its will into its host. I have said it before and will continue to say that Priority 1 programs should be forbidden by law. Oh, come now, Mr. Fox. Minister Lambert had heard enough. Outlawing a program that is a benefit to all is rather an overreach, don't you think? Stripping an android's free will for the sake of productivity is outrageous. Free will? Graves came near Fox. At what point in time was AI given free will? Let's not forget who created whom, Mr. Fox. Who serves the other? Whose will is imposed on whom? It is the creation that serves the will of its creator. Then perhaps as creators, we should be more careful about what goes into our creations, Fox countered. As a ranking member of the Bureau of Human-AI Relations and Catherine's appointed guardian, I stand in opposition to this proposal and will, in every way I can, to stop it, even to appeal to the Sen-Ra family itself. Graves lowered his voice so as not to be overheard by anyone but Fox. Mr. Fox, where do you think the request for the Priority 1 program came from in the first place? At that, Fox took a step back and stared at Graves. Graves stared back. If you have no further objections, Mr. Fox, you are welcome to leave the Hall of Murmurs at this time. Fox did have more objections, but the revelation that Catherine had attracted the attention of the Sen-Ras left him speechless. I need not remind you that everything spoken in this hall is said in the strictest confidence, Graves said. Fox turned in a huff and marched out of the hall. Well, that settles that, Graves said with a clap of his hands. He turned to Minister Lambert. Mr. Lambert, proceed with the program. Lambert smiled. With pleasure, High Minister.